So we're still recovering from Vegas, number one. It was fun. It was fun, but what happened there stays there. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It was all fun, very good. Yeah. No, so I was a speaker over at Vegas, and because I know I'm the only category out of all LeTip that does this. So Summer and Mandy wanted me to present the difference between hiring social media content creators and then seeing the work that I had done. So I don't know who fought for me for that. I think it was Marcus, I think. But I also wanted to show the difference of, to you guys, a more breakdown-ish of kind of what I told them so that they could understand the differences between the content creation and cinematography content creation. And this presentation that I put together like yesterday, it's going to give the definitions and also the differences between the storytelling techniques of videography and cinematography. Next slide. So this is defining videography, which is, it's storytelling, but it's capturing emotions through visual is essential and enhances the audience connection of narrative being told. So you're just enhancing the product. Like you're selling roofs, you're just enhancing why your roof is better than that roof, right? The technical skills is just understanding camera techniques, you know, knowing, am I filming 30 frames a second or 24 frames a second? And most videographers put it on program auto. They don't do manual exposure, manual contrast, nothing like that. And the visual tone is establishing distinct visual tones to help convey the story's mood and intent. Again, it's more of selling the product, right? Videography is just putting something together, try to get people to buy your product, or you selling a product to someone else. Next slide. Cinematography. Under cinematography visual storytelling, it enhances narratives through visual composition, lighting, camera movement, creating emotional connection with the audience, right? So a good example that I had said that I did a video for one of my roofers. He showed me all like 5 or 6 videos that were going around and blah, blah, blah on Facebook. I said, man, that's crap. I said, you just want to be another roofer. I said, let's tell a story about why you're the best roofer visually. So long story short, what I did was I did a little cinema 30-second video of a single mom, 2 kids, bad storm up in Oklahoma. And I added lighting, I added thunder, and I filmed an S-Log, so I added a blue color grade to get that like Twister storm look, right? So it's like you're watching a movie versus just a camera guy or a girl, oh my God, my roof is going down, come help me. That's videography, right? And pretty much told this 30-second story of how, you know, he came, saved the day. I built like a little roof like this and just put a camera here, and we kind of like froze like little hail balls and just kind of were just throwing them down through here. So it looked like it was coming through the roof, right? And then I did like a running of her running to the phone, and I did an action scene running, kind of giving the movement of the camera. So it's like you're there with that single mom, like, damn, I've been there before, holy crap, right? That's the emotion part of cinematography versus the videography. The tone, I set the mood of the film, not of the content, right? Guiding the audience emotions and influencing their interpretation of their story. This is supposed to be there, but it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, okay? Their story. So I was telling the single mom's story of how this roofing company helped her visually, emotionally. And the technical mastery is what I was talking about of the cinematography, which is including camera angles, different shots, lens choices. This is a 24 to 70 millimeter lens. That way I can film out here and I can zoom in really quick if I want to get a good shot. Am I filming with my 16 millimeter lens, which is going to be a huge wide shot to show presentation of where I'm at, what's going on, and let them know, you know, am I upstairs? Am I downstairs? Am I in the kitchen? And creating the impact visuals. That was the impact of the hail coming through the roof. That was the impact visual that I was trying to give for that little 30-second commercial. Mind you, we did that. He put about $600 on it towards Facebook, ended up getting like 10 leads. How much money did he make off of that? I don't know. But that's that. Next slide. This is, of course, just showing my services. I do the cinematic storytelling, or if you just want the videography, you know, for the smaller businesses, that's perfectly fine. Usually I can get these out week and a half. These ones right here, you know, about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. Like I'm about to do the videography of the conference for summer, but because it was so much footage, I had like 4 terabytes. Not gigabytes, terabytes. Well, know what that is? 1,000 gigabytes is 1 terabyte. I had 4 terabytes. So I'll go through all that footage, interviews, breakdown, plus the footage we did with the rock climbing and stuff like that. I'm telling my own documentary of that and stuff and getting locked out. That's a different story. No, that's a different story, man. I gotta tell you guys that. Oh my God.
Oh, he's gonna tell it.
Oh, you'll see it. Oh, God.
You were rock climbing?
All of us were, yeah. Wall videoing, yeah. I'm pro. That's what you get when you get with me.
That's called stupid.
No, it's not.
And I was recording him in case he fell off.
Yeah, but I didn't. And also just, you know, I give the visual tone on the business and the focus and the identity of enhancing the story through filming and through the color, compositions, the lighting and composition and composition. But so like the roofing thing, one scene I filmed pretty much like 3 different angles. The next scene of the roofer answering the phone, I filmed 2 different angles. And then once you put all that together, that's where you see the final product. A lot of people don't know, most movies, each scene that you're watching was probably filmed maybe half a day. Literally, it could be a 5-second scene, 10-second scene. They probably had 4 or 5 different angles. Everyone here just sees the final product. They don't understand in post-production what it takes to color grade and all that stuff. That's where your money goes to. And that's what I explained over at LeTip and the convention. I said, all the business owners here, the older, the 50 plus and up, I said, you guys have to understand, if it's this much money, that money does not go to me on the job 3 hours filming. Okay? It goes towards the 2.5 weeks that I'm working in color correcting, editing, putting different angles. Do I have to adjust? Do I have to do a speed ramp? You know, how many slides am I putting in, etc. That is where the money goes. And I had a question. Everyone loved me for it for some reason because I was brutally honest. Yeah, one of the guys, he's like, hey, you know, I got a question. When you do your weddings or whatever, how do you, what was this like? How do I deal with a customer that I tell them, hey, this is going to be a good edit, blah blah. This is going to take about probably 2.5 months to edit because it's very detailed, you know, 8-minute, blah, blah, blah. And in 2 weeks they're calling me or they're texting me. He's like, you know, how do you deal with that? And, you know, I said, I just red button them and I don't even care. It's like, yeah, I told you 2 months. If I'm 2 months and a day, I'll answer it. That's how I deal with it. I mean, everyone was just laughing, but I was just being serious, right? I was being brutally honest. And believe it or not, I had multiple business owners come up to me and say, you were the most honest person on that panel up there. We had 3, had me, another girl named Allie, and then another guy who was like an AI guru named Stefan. They were all given these, you know, like political correct terms and this and that. Me, you guys know me. I don't care. I was just up there saying exactly what I was, you know, but everyone told me I was the most honest, and that's what they loved about me. So just be honest. You know, whether that customer likes it or not, I really don't care. I'm gonna tell them straight up, like, that's hot garbage and I'm not filming that. Go get someone else and I'll walk away. It's like, I don't do that type of film. You know. Next slide. And the philosophy, there's this guy named Roger Dinkins. He was Dinkins, very good, awesome producer. And I put my filmmaking towards that philosophy. And he says the camera is a kind of keyhole into another world. So that's why I love doing this, because it's always something different. I'm always plugging into a different side of the universe, or, you know, another part of the world that I can just tell for different businesses. You know, like I said, the roofing one, I'm pretty sure I could come up something like that for your carpet thing, you know. I'm about to do a construction video, you know, that they were like, we just want a nice cinematic construction video that looks awesome. Just make it, you know, the sounds, etc. So I'm about to do that next week. So it's just storytelling, storyboarding, etc. You know, that's the time that it takes. I think that's the last slide. Oh no, it's not. So this is on set for The Chosen that I was filming about 2.5 years ago. As you can see, how many angles? 1, 2, and of course it comes over here, but there's another camera here, right? I was filming the wide angle, and of course, you're not gonna see this because they're gonna blow it up, but I was filming this wide angle on Joseph. He was filming a close-up of his face this way. So when both of them are talking, that's my angle. When he's just talking, this is his angle, and this camera here was filming directly on him. So that's, and they...
Oh, and it's a scammer too.
Now I was hoping some Metallica or something.
Well, we can dance after this.
Oh, well, put on Bye Bye Bye, because I can do that one. Anyway, so that's the difference of the visual storytelling. When they're talking close up, he's talking close up. When both of them are arguing or something like that, they have me for the wide angle. So they filmed this. This was one scene that was about 1.5 minutes long, all put together. That was about a day. A whole day of filming that scene. Because once you get all the footage, the actors are always given a different vibe every time they're talking. And it's like, okay, that one was cut. You were shit. This guy right here was good. So then they'll redo it for him, and they'll be like, okay, yeah, now that looks good. Like, okay, cool. And then once you and then the editing comes in, and you have to find out, oh, okay, this take for this, and you just kind of put it all together. You know what I mean? And of course, this right here is the importance of the lighting and the mood, choosing the right color palette, and using angles to enhance narrative, impact of the sound design on the story. And of course, right here, I had sound there, they had sound over here, and then there's another microphone, as you can see, this wire right here, that goes directly underneath. And they will take the best sound or you know, whatever, the editor, and see which one works the best. Now, once they do that, they have to apply that sound directly on how their mouth is talking. That's hard. I don't even mess with that stuff. All right, next slide. And here's another widescreen, a green screen of a wide picture that we were filming. This was supposed to be outside. This was going to be like the sun, etc. And we had Joseph pulling across here with the wagon, and we had an actual donkey on set. It's pretty cool. He was nice. Smart, man. They're smart. But other than that, yep, there's my info. So any questions?
All right.
Color palette.
Yeah.
So when choosing that, like, are you able, obviously you're able to like manipulate it, but how do you do that? When you choose that?
Yeah, so you can literally Google like certain color palettes that you want your movie to look like. So yeah, so if I want a Game of Thrones look, all I do is like Game of Thrones color palette. And there's many people that have that color palette, right? You have to take a screenshot of that. Once you do that, then what I do is I have a specific GPT in ChatGPT that is specifically integrated for nothing but color grade. That's all he knows. So I take that and I give it to him and I say, hey, I want my footage filmed in S-Log3 with a Sony a7S III using a Cinema Gamma 3 video, color paletted to Game of Thrones Season 2, blah, blah, blah. I'm uploading the color palette to you. You need to give me the LUT. Boom, give it to him. Once he does that, he creates that LUT for me. I download that LUT, I install it into DaVinci Resolve, and once I have my footage, then I'll apply it. And of course, you know, they have color wheels and stuff at the bottom. You can manipulate it, adjust it. Does it come out perfect? No. That's where color grading comes in and knowing what to do and how to adjust. You know, your saturation, your gamma, your white, your blacks, your exposure. There's so many color wheels, it's not even funny. But so to get that, that's how I do it. Yes, sir.
I know it varies, but what would be like an average return on investment with what you do?
Talk to your marketer. Right, David? What was the one thing that I told them? They said, if you could have one thing from every client, what would it be? Get your own marketing. Like, that is not my job. I create the visual, right? How it comes out, talk to your marketer. It's not my fault I upload it to your YouTube channel or your social media and well, I'm not getting leads. Well, I'm not marketing it for you.
Right, no, I get that.
Yeah, so that's your return on investment. Talk to your marketer.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
If I recall, you learned a lot of your photography when you were home after your surgery.
Videography.
Well, but you started with the cameras and worked your way up.
Yeah, I never did photos.
But December 22?
That was, yeah, December 22, and then once January came around, yeah, that's when I was learning everything.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you could have gone to UCLA and learned all that for about $100,000.
Yeah.
Or more.
Or more.
Yeah.
Yes,
4
sir.
years at UCLA, come out with cinematography
Yeah.
and $100,000 in student loans.
More than that, and all this debt. And the funny thing is, you say that, Steve, is because that summer when I finally got better in that July and August area, how I got on set for doing that was actually helping a kid that was 26 years old with a freaking master's degree in film. And I helped him expose his camera correctly, do this, do that, because he didn't know that we were outside and they were filming in log. Now what log does is this right here, what I'm doing is just manual exposure. You see how clear the video is, right? In log, you have a white cloud that kind of goes over the video. And what that allows DaVinci or Adobe Premiere Pro to do is bring the colors out, like your saturation, your reds, your blues, you know, the YGBR, whatever, the color palette. It allows it to bring those colors out. So outside, with the sun and the exposure, that screen that you're looking at right there is just white because the lens cannot go down, the f-stop cannot get enough silhouette to make it look good. So you have to put it in log, bring the ISO down to the 640 of the base of the camera. Once you have that, then you can start adjusting f-stop. And I was like, dude, they didn't teach you this in school. I said, what do you have? Oh, I got a master's in it. I'm like, yeah, and you don't know shit. I was like, they showed you.
Show us what you really think. Yeah.
Well, again, I'm honest. This is how I was at the panel. This is whatever. Well, I got multiple handshakes when trying to get food. Just, oh, TJ, I'm like, can I sit down and eat first? Like, I love it. I appreciate it. You know, but that's the difference between. I told them, I said, there's two types of videographers and cinematographers that you always run into. Always. You have the one that has everything, equipment-wise, blah, 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 doesn't know shit. You have the second one like me. I have minimum cameras, you know, because I'm building my business, etc. But my knowledge of what I know how to do and how to do it exceeds this person. And that's the difference. You know, do you want extra people to film? Yeah, I got 2 or 3 cinematographers that I have on standby. Hey man, we have to go film a wedding. Hey man, we got to go film this birthday party. You know, and then I let my client know, it's like, you want a different angle? You want more cameras? Oh yeah, okay, this guy's day rate is X amount. Write me a check under his name so I can give it to him. I mean, it's a lot easier, just all this overhead and the dude knew nothing. You know, anyways, the DP, which is the director of photography, and that's not what it sounds like. The director of photography does this, you know, the storytelling, everything like that. He comes over and he's like, you're not supposed to be, who are you? And I was like, I was just passing by, man. I was just helping this dude out. He didn't know shit. And he looked and he's like, oh, okay. And he asked me for lunch. And that's how I got onto that set. Because of my knowledge, not because I had $100,000 worth of equipment in my van and I know what to do with it.
Very good. Thank you.